And hello, everyone. Welcome to the Real Estate Show on KCMX News Media 880. Pete Belcaster and Joe Brett, the Real Estate guys, with you today. And thanks for joining us here on KCMX. Great show today, Joe, because I love events that are taking place while we're talking, while we're going on. And today is the Southern Oregon, it's the tour of homes from the builders of Southern Oregon. Jessica Bennington, who is Brad Bennington's daughter, is with us today. Jessica, nice to have you here with us. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and you got a big event coming up. I mean, it's here.
Yeah, it is here. It's one of our largest events, and we have 10 major local builders on the tour, and we also have 13 new homes that the public, you can go and check out and see all the newest trends and all the cool new green building elements to save energy. And
so you like the event. I mean, it's a big event that you do each year, and we're going to talk about a little bit more about that as we go along here, because we remember when Brad was here, Joe, gosh, I don't know how many years ago or how long ago that was, when the fall, they used to have a fall home show, remember?
Yeah.
The fall home show. Right. And that kind of gave way to this.
Yes.
Because we had two home shows, one in the fall, one in the spring, which was probably more than we needed, right?
Right.
So we changed that around, and you can see the result of that. Also, Guy Giles is here, and Kurt's Guy is our resident mortgage lending expert from Bank 34 Mortgage. It's fall. Look at this. It's fall now. What have we been through here in 2018? I don't know.
Every year, it just gets a little busier and a little busier, and I don't think that it could get any better than it did the last year, and here we are.
Yeah?
Had a little slowdown during the smoke. There wasn't a ton of people running around right then, but it cleared up for a little while right before I left for vacation, and I think I put 6 contracts in the day before I left, and then slow again while I was gone, and then as soon as I got back, I'm averaging about 15 hours a week this week. So
you saw slowdown during the smoke time.
It felt like it, and a lot of my people are from out of town,
yeah.
So they get here and,
Well, I think the out of town was where the biggest effect was of the smoke, because overall real estate numbers during that time, because we watched them every week, on a newsletter that we sent out, and geez, there was a lot of activity, sales, new listings, closed sales. It didn't seem to affect the market that much. It affected people moving in, coming in, I think, more than anything. Don't you think?
And I've seen a little bit of follow-up information from that, to where the slowdown with Shakespeare and the Brit Festival and some of the things that people who might come here and be having a chance to check out some of the great cultural amenities and also taking a look at homes. When the smoke came and they canceled those plans, of course, they didn't even make it to town to have their look. And the higher-end properties kind of suffered through that time more than any others, because that group that might come for some other great things to do in Southern Oregon just didn't make the trip this year for those 6-7 weeks.
So what's lending like today? Where are we at today?
Well, you're right, it has been holding pretty steady as far as the rates go. The mortgage backs have taken a little bit of a hit this week, actually quite a big hit in the last couple of days. So their rates are probably up an 1/8% this week already. Yeah. Just everything boils down to a really good economy, and people are anticipating inflation. Unfortunately, that's the one bad thing. The good part about it is, if you buy a house, it's appreciating pretty well. I heard a statistic that I barely believed this morning, but they said the average homeowner in the United States gained about 12% last year. That doesn't mean their house appreciated that much, but between paying down your principal and just all the factors that go into it, it averaged out to about 12%, which, like I said, I was a little shocked, but I do trust the source.
It's sure a whole lot better than having negative equity as we had for so many people for so long. I mean, look, it took 10 years for so many properties to get back into a positive equity side. So that's really good. So what are interest rates? I mean, just where are they at today if I'm coming to your conventional loans? What's going on there right now?
You're right around 5% right now. It could be a little more. I locked in a guy yesterday at 4.8. Okay. Doing one of those cross-collateralization loans where I encumber both houses and you're able to buy a house without a contingent offer. Right. 4.5% is what I locked a guy in on that yesterday. I mean, the rates are great on that program.
Okay, I want you to go back and explain that again, because I think this is really this what'd you call it again? The
cross-collateralization.
The cross-collateral loan, because one of the problems that so many people are having is I want to find a replacement property, but I can't find one. I mean, and so I don't know what to do. So what Guy has been telling us on these loans is that if you have the ability to purchase without contingent of your house selling with a program to help you there, that really gives you such a stronger offer if you're going to buy something, right?
Well, yeah, and it doesn't put you under some kind of a crazy crunch to let your house go for less than you want to let it go for, because you're not under an obligation. Yeah, you don't have a certain time frame that you have to be out of there, and we're just qualifying you with the one payment. Believe it or not, we're not hitting you with both full payments. What we're doing is taking a snapshot of what it would look like after. So if you had a $450,000 house and you owe $2 on it, and you're buying a $400,000 and you have all that equity from both the houses, but you're literally only qualifying on what it would look like after the one house sold, and now you only owe $150,000 because you've paid the thing way down. So it's a little weird, but it makes sense, and I'm actually getting a ton of traction.
Because you've got the security and the equity to be able to handle that. You know that it's going to transpire.
Yes. Well, and you know the other house is going to sell.
Right.
I mean, the house that you're getting out of is going to sell. It may take a month. It may take 2 months. But can you absorb that and do that? And you're saying yes to most people can do that.
Yeah, if you have at least 25% equity in your house. So, I mean, if you're just like right there, did a USDA loan 2 years ago, you probably are not going to fit for the program. But I haven't had any trouble at all. We're just got our first, we got docs out on one today that went really smooth. And anyway, I got like 5 phone calls since yesterday about it. So,
well, I think those are really opportunity kind of loans to me of giving you an edge over the competition, especially if you're in certain price categories that are getting multiple offers
where sellers have been hung up by that contingency of having to wait for it all to fall into place. If they've got the wherewithal, boy, they can be more comfortable in their, and especially in the approach to selling their own property. Well, they're not under that pressure to get moving and to get out.
And if you're old like me and you got a bunch of stuff at your house, you're not under the gun to get it all out in one weekend when all of a sudden this whole thing comes together. So,
yeah, well, you're doing okay there. You still, what's so interesting to me when we started our show, most loans then, in the recession were FHA loans. And today, we here fast forward to today, you don't even do any of these anymore, are you, right now?
Rarely. If your credit score is really low, we do take a look at FHA, just because the mortgage insurance can be expensive if your credit score is very low. But if I can figure out some way for you to, get a gift from grandma or a family member, get a little bit of a down payment to where, a lot of times you're just looking at 3% down in a lot of areas in Medford, depending on your income, depending on where the house is, or just 5% down, and you're in a conventional loan, and that mortgage insurance will go away at some point. So that's the way I like to try to do it if I can. But we have basically a grant now on an FHA loan. So if you're making under 140% of the median income, you can pretty much do that without a down payment. So there are some times to do it.
Well, it's an interesting stat I read this week was that foreclosures and short sales across the country at the lowest they've been in decades. I mean, even before a long time ago, whenever that was. And part of the reason that they said this is happening, there's only one short sale, by the way, listed in Jackson County right now. One, and there's only like a handful of foreclosures. They say that the reason that is that way is because lending has been better than it was before the last recession. And you agree with that lending, it's still stricter then. And so that's why we're having more qualified buyers, fewer foreclosures. Of course, we have a good economy too. Those are all playing a big role.
Yeah, it's the non-QM stuff that can get a little bit weird, meaning not stuff that Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac's buying. I literally had an email come out today saying no income, no assets, no anything on investment properties, and I thought, why in the world would you do this? But at the end of the day, they have a decent down payment. They wouldn't do it unless the house penciled out as far as making their rents. But they're getting creative again a little bit. But the GSEs or the government sponsored entities aren't doing that. So that's most of your loans. So yeah, we're writing them. And actually writing them the correct way, not with just fog in the mirror anymore.
And it's sure showing it.
For Fannie Mae, just real quickly, is this, you're not writing as many nearly as you were a few years ago before that mortgage insurance that stays with you the whole time. Is that nationwide, and is that by their design? Did they want to slow down their participation in the process?
Well, they said it was to shore up their money because they had lost so much during the crash. And then they kind of pulled a dirty trick on this administration when they came in. They got rid of that lifetime mortgage insurance the day before Trump took office, knowing that he would have to reinstitute it. So guess what? The headline read, Trump puts mortgage insurance on for life. And it was, anyway. But it just boils down to they needed some more revenue for the program. Yeah. So that's why they did it.
Yeah, that's very good. Well, I want to say, we really had it interesting with you when you were on last time with Nate Sickler, that you were on that marijuana committee. I didn't know that about you, that you volunteer your time with them to do that. That's really cool. You know,
yeah,
that's
just don't cut the tape right there when you're saying you're on the marijuana. Make sure that committee stays in here on the thing, so my mom doesn't get upset with me.
Jackson,
I think there's a lot of good stuff going on with that. You know, we've just had the Wild West out here where people are growing it next door to you, and they don't really, you know, not all of them. There's some really good growers that are doing it the right way, but I think all of us are just, you know.
Well, it was great to hear that there's a committee even going. I didn't even know you existed, and the fact that you were even on it, you know, proves that, you know, people care about our communities, and this is an issue that
other industries do the same thing. The other industries have coalitions and meet with government officials and try to be good neighbors in their practices and things like that. It happens in other arenas as well.
Yeah,
yeah, and it is one of the avenues that we're looking at coming up. I guess the wine industry has kind of a group that they deal with the government and everything. The marijuana, there are some pretty good people spearheading at least the legal side of that whole thing, and putting something together where people have some sort of recourse to go back and just not making law enforcement, you know, to where they can lean on each other a little bit, because the ones doing it right don't necessarily approve of the ones doing it wrong at all, especially when you're paying all the compliance money to get a thing going.
I think it's really good that you're doing that and that it's there, because we certainly do need that type of
big deal in our county.
We all talk about it. I mean, we all talk about this, don't we? I mean, I don't know, maybe Jessica doesn't, but we sure find, you know, interesting topics because it affects so much of what we do, especially in rural properties.
Game changer.
You know, in those kinds of things. Well, Jessica Bennington is here from the build. What's it called, Jessica? It's the Builders Association of Southern Oregon.
You got it.
Used to be the home builders. Remember them and all those kinds of things. And you may have seen this. Okay, this year is the 2018 Southern Oregon Tour of Homes. This is what's happening this weekend. Right now, it's the second of 2 weekends for it, and it's an event that. You know, I remember when Brad had that idea. We were, and he said, Bend. The first year, the folks in Bend, didn't they come down and help put that together? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's where it started. And look at it now. You're doing it on your own, right?
Yeah, they have them all over the United States, actually. And this is our 4th annual Southern Oregon Tour of Homes. It is the only new home event in this area.
In the whole area?
Yeah.
And how many homes were on it just this year? How many
we have
homes?
13 new homes this year.
13 new homes. We're going to take a break here. We're going to talk about some of those homes and kind of the things behind this event.
I like the one on the cover that you just showed.
Well, you know,
I like windows.
I've been in some of these, and they're really amazing.
Yeah. I mean, that's a mid-century modern style home.
You should get one. You should get one of these. You know, we should get Brad to get one of these fancy homes.
For me, yeah.
Are you? Yeah. Brad should get one for you.
He should buy one for me.
All right.
Or build one for you. You can even do that.
We got a break coming up. Real Estate Show continues here on KCMX News Media 880. We're back right after this. And welcome back to the Real Estate Show here on KCMX News Media 880. Pete and Joe, the real estate guys, with you today. And thanks for joining us here on KCMX and, of course, YouTube as well. The topic today, the Southern Oregon Builders Association Tour of Homes underway right now throughout Jackson County. 13 homes on the tour. By the way, next week here on the show, we're going to talk about insurance. Speaking about new homes and this kind of thing, Greg White from Reinhold and O'Hara will be with us and talk about homeowners insurance. Specifically, we're going to talk about fire insurance. That is a big topic. Mm-hmm. Do you know that? It's go try to get fire insurance now and think you're going to get kind of a break or a deal. Anyway, that's coming up next week. And then 2 weeks from today, Maggie Mahar. That's a name in the Builders Association that would know. Mahar.
Absolutely.
Maggie will be here on a John L. Scott Market Watch show. We're going to talk about some of the new construction going on in East Medford. Remember, Joe, when the first years ago, when the city of Medford announced the Southeast Plan.
Right.
They're going to build 10,000 homes in East Medford in that southeast area.
And they're going to, and it's a beautiful plan.
I thought they were crazy people. There's no way you can build 10,000 homes.
Turns out you were crazy. They were right.
I'm totally wrong. I was through there the other day showing some clients and stuff,
Yep.
and I hadn't been up driving it through there. Mm-hmm. It's incredible the number of homes that are being built and the demand that must be there. I mean, Jessica, I know we're not talking about this, but did you see that in your association?
Oh yes, absolutely. Everyone is slammed busy. Everyone in the building industry right now.
Yeah. But what's interesting though, again, I'm just going by stats, and you tell me what's going on then in Guide 2. A year ago, the June, July, August MLS stats in Jackson County had 124 new construction homes sold in 3 months. Mm-hmm. A year later, we talk about we're so busy, it's less than half that. What happened? I mean, I don't know what happened. Prices
Those
went
are
up.
sold through the MLS, though, those numbers.
Well, prices went up and things like that, but I'm just saying that the number dropped, and the biggest drop was in East Medford. It's just odd. There was that much more going on a year ago, it seems like, than there is today, and there's a lot going on today.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Isn't that
I've probably
interesting?
got 6 new constructions going on right now.
76 homes sold in those three-month period. Again, East Medford is where it's happening at, in East Medford and Eagle Point.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That has not changed
No.
for several years.
Yep.
East Medford and Eagle Point.
White City's had some
White
pretty good
City
additions
has
as well
those
of new
too.
construction.
Yeah, but I mean, it seems like it really slowed down in new construction.
So how about housing starts? Do you know if those went down? Or?
New housing starts, I don't know that. But I do know that when you've got what we have right now, which is going on, is that inventories are rising. 14% more homes today than a year ago are on the market. We started our show, there was never 1,000. I mean, we hit 1,000 a couple of years ago, just barely. Now we're at almost 1,200. So we're seeing inventory rise, and that's going to put pressure on pricing too. Yep. So just have what we have there, right?
And back to that, the only thing I could think of is maybe the building department's completely buried with marijuana stuff right now, and they're not able to issue permits or something.
And Medford Planning Commission has 3 new subdivisions on their September 27th agenda. It's starting to wrap up. The county is very quiet with their planning department has not had a lot of business, but Medford City for sure. Ashland is considering new development.
Well,
Mark McKechnie has got a new complex that's down on the boulevard, down by the Minute Market there. Okay. That's in the works, but got some little pushback from citizens. But it's infill. It addresses their density issues and a lot of the things that they're trying to achieve with their housing and being affordable housing as well.
We're going to try and get Kelly Madding, who's the administrator in Ashland, join us because Ashland's kind of heading the way for additional dwelling units. And we talk about potential for builders with additional dwelling units on properties throughout this county and cities that are making them easier to do and less expensive to do. What a boon that's going to be for builders again, I think, because the demand is there for additional dwelling units.
And the opportunities are in the works. They're working their way through the planning commissions and up through the council and the approving boards to come into play and to meet this need. There are some things in the works.
Do you loan on new construction much?
Lately I have been.
You have been.
Yeah, it's. I mean, every now and then somebody will come in, they buy a new house. I can actually do that cross collateralization loan on a construction loan also.
On a construction loan, wow.
So. Okay. I actually have VA construction loans that I can do, a few different ones that I don't know of anybody else that really does them in the area at all. But to be honest, I've been so busy, I haven't really gone out and talked a lot about them because I'm kind of afraid of what might happen if I do.
Open the floodgate and have
Hayden Homes right now, they're still going crazy. I think they're getting ready to open up some new stuff over in Eagle Point, and so there's a few of those things going on right now. Brock Scott at Elite. He's building a ton of houses right now, and I've got a few of those in my pipeline too. So, I'm doing a lot of construction type stuff right now.
And even Nick and Deidre Ripsum, who were on our show just a couple of months ago, I've been watching firsthand
because that's
down
over,
the street
that's over
from
by
Aspen
Street
Street as they punch through to Kings Highway. They have 21 homes in that development there. The first one is up, it's in, and it's
on the tour.
Gorgeous. It is. It's
on
excellent.
The tour.
Yeah. So that's one folks should really be excited to take a look at in Southwest Medford because it's in more affordable ranges. And man, the work and if you just go and take a look at it, you'll be really impressed. It looks like they're going to do really well with those. And Garfield has a large subdivision. They've stopped traffic on Garfield because they're getting the infrastructure.
Oh, really?
So it looks like they've got a big pocket opening up just by the Minute Market and Kings Highway and Garfield right there.
So
new home.
Jessica, what does it take to get on the tour? I mean, new construction, obviously, but how do you who decides what gets on and what doesn't get on? How does that work?
So you have to be a Builders Association Southern Oregon member to be on the tour, and it needs to be a new home. And our executive officer, Brad Bennington, and our staff and our board generally, decides, if approves if people are going to be on our tour of homes or not.
Okay.
But yeah, that's the main thing is that they need to be a Builders Association member, and it has to be a new home within a certain amount of time.
So square footage or price or something like that, or not necessarily.
We like to have variety. So we like, all different price ranges and sizes and different styles and areas. That way it gets everybody can find something that fits them.
Yeah, because I don't want to go into I don't mind looking at $1 million houses. I may not own one, so you go from. I like visiting them and looking at them.
What you can do is, go to one of the $1 million, multi-million-dollar homes and say, "Oh, I like this feature and that feature and the other," and then maybe go to a different one and say, "Hey, maybe I'll install those different features in this style that I can afford."
How many different builders are represented by the homes?
We have 10 major local builders this year. We have Bunton Construction, Foursquare Homes, which is new. That's Nick Ripson. Hayden Homes.
That's their home. Okay, that's theirs.
Hayden Homes, KDA Homes out in Ashland. They are featuring the newest, actually largest development in 20 years, which is the Verde Village in Ashland.
Right. That's right.
We have Lori Magel Homes, Mahar Homes, of course, Riverdale Construction, Sam Sarich up in Innsbruck Ridge.
Innsbruck Ridge, yeah.
We also have Tailored Elements, who's also in Ashland. And then we have Vision Homes, which is in Central Point.
That's a pretty good group. Boy, they were on hard times a few years ago, but now the getting is certainly a lot better. And they're improving, don't you think? Some of the different designs and that are out there and building materials.
It's been really fun I've seen all of them, and I actually went and toured them when a lot of them were still under construction. So I got to see the behind the scenes, and also now I've taken the tour this last weekend. I'm going to take it again this weekend, and just seeing all the kind of new trends, and some of them are Craftsman. We have mid-century modern. You get to see some of the new wood finishes and new appliances. I mean, it's so inspirational. It's so fun.
And it's neat. I first met Jessica when I hosted one of the tour homes out in Eagle Point. They're all over the valley.
Yeah.
So you really have to probably take a couple of days or make yourself a really good loop. You almost have to be a realtor to make a property showing loop like that to get to them. But take a weekend and you'll see a diverse range of where they are, the types of homes that they are, and really gives you a nice flavor of what's out there.
And you get to really, you'll get to see the homes that are on the tour, but you also get to experience the different neighborhoods.
Exactly.
And you can see the different types of homes that the builders are building. And Tailored Elements, actually, they've opened up a few other homes besides the home they have on the tour that are next door. So you get to go and look at those also. And then Mahar Homes has a new village. It's called Silver Oaks, and it's up off of McAndrews above the vineyards. And that one is, this is the first time they're showing everybody this new neighborhood, and it's really awesome.
Oh, there's a lot more going on than you think, isn't there?
That southeast plan, there's trails, small pocket parks, all planned into it. It's going to connect really well. People will be able to flow through those neighborhoods up to Prescott Park, all the way up to Roxy Ann, and to all those hiking, biking, horseback riding amenities up there.
Okay.
There's some really neat plans.
The view is stunning.
Yeah, there's some really neat plans
in those new neighborhoods. In those new neighborhoods, where's the one that we're having the pickleball court in, and we're having the issues about that? Where's that at?
Village. I think that's Village Park is the name of the park.
Is that where that is? Okay.
And that's just
well,
that's just a sign of the times. It's ridiculous. You can't. Parks are for people to come together to recreate in. It's part of
to play
promoting
cornhole.
a healthy lifestyle and have healthy opportunities and options out there and place for people to meet and relax and recreate. That's what parks are for. And so when you move in across the street and you know that park has been planned for 5 years now, it's been in the master plan since day one, since any of those people ever bought their lot across the street and thought that a 40 decibel pickleball pop here and there in the evenings would mess up their whole life. It's like
Joe
Joe
is saying that as the president of the Medford Parks Foundation too.
Get a life.
So he's saying
It just
So
reminds
the
me
rest
of
of us may have ours.
Reminds me of that guy that moved in next to the gun club there in Ashland, and now he wants them to shut down the gun club. It's like, dude, just go back where you came from.
or the people who move in by an airport and then it's too noisy because we have flights. I mean, it's one of those things. But
this is
you're right.
pickleball.
That has been that park has been there and planned in a long
It has
time.
been.
And
Yeah,
so
you can't say you didn't know. It's your
geez.
due diligence, and so here it is. And
I'd rather hear.
You might even make some.
I'd rather hear that than I'd rather hear freeway noise or road noise on a property. I don't care. I mean,
and pick up a paddle and walk across the street, and you might make a bunch of new friends and even meet your neighbors and find out that there's some really good things about having parks in your neighborhood.
we veered. Of course, there.
My fault.
What are we here for?
How does one? I mean, it's 10 to 4, so it's going until 4 o'clock today and 10 to 4 tomorrow, and then it's over. So, Jessica, do I just grab the book and just go on my own and just wander on my own?
Yeah, you can plan your tour. You just need the tour guide, and you can go to our website, buildso.com, B as in boy, UILDSO as in southernoregon.com. Click the Tour of Homes banner. That'll bring up our digital tour guide. You can flip through. It also has all the addresses that you can plug into your nav system, and you can just cruise around to the homes that you want, or you can go to all of them. It starts tomorrow 10 to 4 and then runs Saturday and Sunday also 10 to 4, so you can split up your tour. You can go to all of them in one day. I've done that before. Kind of whatever. It's kind of fun to plan it around maybe if you want to go to some cool restaurants during your day. And just enjoy Southern Oregon.
All right, we got a break coming up. We're coming right back. We're with Jessica Bennington and Guy Giles here on the Real Estate Show today. We're back. One more segment to go right after this. Real Estate Show continues here on KCMX today. Pete Belcaster and Joe Brett, the Real Estate Guys, with you. Next week, we're talking about homeowners insurance and fire insurance. What kind of an effect did all these fires play on people in rural areas wanting fire insurance? It's played a role. We're gonna explain that more next week. 2 weeks from today, Maggie Mahar will be here. We're going to talk construction again a little bit, as we are today with Jessica, about some of the new features that she's been dealing with. And one thing about Maggie, they're right in the middle of all this construction, and they have some great stories to share and of what's going on, like we're hearing today. So on the tour of homes again, this afternoon till 4 o'clock, and tomorrow from 10 to 4. Prices in these homes range from what, Jessica? Do you know? I see $499. I'm just trying to look through the book here at the 13 homes, because they do range in price and sizes and all the different things that you want, right?
I think it's from like 300,000 to up to $1 million, I believe.
So something, yeah. I mean, it's a good variety.
It's probably the one on the cover that I want, right? All the windows.
That one's
I
only
think there's-
200.
Guy,
You better buy that
You're
one.
gonna have to pull a rabbit out of your hat for that one.
No, Hayden might still have some a little bit cheaper than that. I don't know. At least the last one that we.
Well, I'm seeing through.
But that could be
Yeah.
the end of that one subdivision, so who knows?
Right.
But get in there quick.
What we're really trying to find is affordability with new construction. Again, the higher you go up in price, the fewer buyers you have, and so there's a lot of people who would like new construction in those 300 range, 300,000, 350 to 400 range. We see some in here, so that's encouraging, really, because that's such a popular price. You can get loans easier that way, and those kinds of things. More people.
I've been on both sides of it, and it is good to just come in and get a budget and stick with it. And I know Hayden is selling a lot of homes that are, brand new, just kind of in that price range that you're talking about.
In that mid 300 range.
Brian and Jeff down there can take your phone call anytime.
Well,
Hayden actually has one for about 380.
380?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
That's one of the higher end ones.
oh, right on.
And the square footages, I didn't look at those yet on those. I'm always curious as to what new construction, the size that people are wanting today. We used to have the average I think, square footage was 2,400, and that has really come down in new construction over the years. I wonder what 2,000 square feet. That seems to be the kind of the new normal.
Yeah, our tour guide has all of that information on the builder pages. So if you look through the tour guide, the different builder pages has, the number of bedrooms, bathrooms, features, the floor plan, how much, square footage, all that stuff.
I just took a trip to Arkansas just to tell you how vastly different things can vary from market to market. 4-bedroom, 3 full bath, 2,700 square feet with a full pool in the backyard and 0.30 acre, $189,000. And that's and my nephew's house there that was very comparable is $179,000 he had bought it for. It's
the same thing.
And they're beautiful homes, but the economy doesn't support much beyond that. But my gosh, do they get value for their dollar?
Those are big urban places.
They weren't in Arkansas. I'd move there.
Well, there's urban places with thousands and thousands of homes. Go to Texas. I mean, you can buy $150,000. You get beautiful homes. We're double the prices, more than double here compared to most places in the country, and that is a detriment
because we can't cut any wood.
In loaning. I mean, I don't know how you're right though. I mean, you are correct, but geez,
it's really interesting to watch it just from area to area, and it's but it's a beautiful place to live here and high demand to live here as well, probably with less opportunities.
Do we pay the price? We pay a price. In the end, we pay a price to live here with higher housing costs compared to most other places.
And we are building houses now at prices that are not affordable to a lot of people that are needing affordable housing, but gives us hope. That inventory is going to be there, and in 15 and 20 years, it's going to be within a reach, hopefully, of people that are still going to have that need. And we're addressing the inventory issue. We knew that we're just in a drought for 4 or 5 years there of building new homes. So at least we're getting them up and getting them into the works.
Well, just to show you how much the market has changed, in the market snapshot that John L. Scott puts out every month, in the month of August, we've talked about available supply of inventory. A 6-month supply is buyer and seller has a pretty much equal advantage in terms of negotiating, right? We haven't been there for years, okay? We're there now. In the price is $500,000 range and above, it's 6 months and above. You have $1 million house, you got a 24-month supply of inventory right now. But below $500,000, it's still 1.4 months, 2 months, 3 months inventory.
Interesting,
That's the difference in how our market has changed. That's what's so fascinating about it, to watch it right now as we go into fall, and we'll see how it comes out next. So we don't know. We're going to be out of time in a minute there. I want to make sure that Guy is okay here. Loaning, you're busy. I like to hear that. And that's good news.
And we're coming out with new things every day, and so I mean they're loosening things up, not bad, but to where you can still do it. I would say just get in a house, because it might not be your perfect one right now, but you'll be building equity and paying it down, and later on the time could come if it's not that exact right one now.
And check with Guy on the cross collateral loan. I really think that, man, I've had so many people who've been so stuck in trying to get a place, can't move because we're contingents and all these different things.
There's no option there for them.
And to be able to say I can buy it without selling my house is a huge advantage.
It's
so
nice.
That's a terrific
product. Go see these guys for a new house. I've never owned one in my life until last year, and they just heat up better. McLean Plumbing, he built that house for me, believe it or not, and he did a great job.
That was your first new construction you
ever. I didn't even have air conditioning when I grew up, or a central heater. So I mean, we've come a little way, but man, the way they're built these days, it's amazing.
Okay, so, that's really good to hear that there. And Jessica, okay, so this is it. So you got one more day to go after today. You're pretty excited about that thing.
The last weekend starts tomorrow.
Well, we're on Saturday, sweetie, so it doesn't really matter. So
we're
Saturday
taking this a day early.
Okay. So they got today till 4 and tomorrow 10 to 4.
Yes, correct.
So it's just pick up the brochure.
So, you can either get our digital guide on our website, buildso.com, or you can pick up some tour guides that are outside our office, 1006 East Jackson Street. Or if you can just use the digital guide to get to one of the addresses, we have tour guides in all the homes.
And someone is there at each of the homes, right? All the time to help you if you got any questions and want to see something in particular
a lot of the builders are actually at some of the homes, which is really cool. So you can actually meet the builders. so that's a really fun thing as
And
well.
probably even if you miss it this week, you could come by
as
and
well.
probably even if you miss it this week, you could come by next week and get one of these, and you could
can
do
still
your
go
own little
drive by
thing
the
and go
house.
check out and
Yeah.
see what's going on.
Yeah,
You can
it's
li-
really fun. So definitely come and take the tour.
Yeah, well, it's a big event, and I can't believe how much it grew, how fast it grew. Brad was right that the community was ripe for
Yep.
a tour of homes
Yep,
all
this
over the
is
country.
This is the largest new home event in Southern Oregon.
Oh, yeah.
And it's been the busiest. It's the busiest one we've ever had.
How far building has come in a few years.
Well, we've got some homes to show now
Yeah,
on the tour.
yeah,
Where
yeah.
7, 8 years ago,
The
that
fir-
would have been hard
yeah.
to find.
The first time your dad came on the show, we didn't even talk about construction because there was nothing going on.
no.
We just talked
Yeah.
about other things.
And he's like, "We're going to do a tour," and I'm like, "Okay,
Yeah.
let's figure it out."
Yeah, and how far the new construction world has come. Yet we're still behind. We still don't have enough different types, different breeds. But the good news,
We're working
there
on
is there's some improvement,
Yep.
and prices have not gone as high as they've have. So anyway, that'll do it for the real estate show today. Thank you, Jessica. Good luck to you and the Builders Association and the tour this weekend. Always nice to visit with you. It's good that you're busy and you're back home and
Ready to go. Call me.
We'll talk to you soon. You can Google Guy Giles, bank34.com, guy.g at bank34.com. Okay, that'll do it for the real estate show. Next week, we'll be talking insurance. 2 weeks from today, we'll be talking about the John L. Scott Market Watch show. We'll have the September stats then. We'll see what in the world is happening this month. It's going to be interesting, as it usually is. Have a great week, everybody. God bless you all. We'll talk to you next week here on the Real Estate Show.